why does everything start to go right as soon as we lose everything? I started noticing this like a couple weeks ago, where everything just started all of a sudden coming my way. And if you've been seeing me, and for the past couple of months, nothing has been going my way. So started the going into college. I actually had a beard. I grew a beard, and I'm gonna be honest, I was getting treated really badly. I'm like, maybe people are. I was thinking in my head like, maybe people are like really rude, or maybe I don't really know, but turns out, as soon as I shaved the beard, in January time, I think it was like mid January, all of a sudden, I started getting treated like a lot better. But that's one thing side of it, where I used to come to class like every single day during my first semester, and I had like my writing. Oh my god, yo, my writing teacher. This is what I'm talking about. These fake personalities as well. That like when I went into that first writing class, in the beginning, she was all nice, friendly, and everything, and she like completely like switched up on me, and she like started like being all mean to me, started being like, I don't know, like aggressive towards me. Like we used to, in the start of the semester, I used to say goodbye to her every single day. When I was leaving, then all of a sudden, she would just look away from me every single time I was gonna walk out. She would think about everyone else, but whenever it was my turn, she would just look away. She would like pretend like she was doing something else. And it's every single time. She didn't say goodbye to me one time afterwards, and I don't know what was up with it. Like every single time, like if I had like a missing assignment or something like that, she would be very aggressive. And this is a common thing in my other class as well, where I felt like I was being targeted all of a sudden. And I'm not like some sort of like 2.0 like a point 0.8 GPA. I had a 4.0 GPA the year before. I wasn't like coming in as like nothing. But anyways, as well, I came in to the season, and I got injured, so I couldn't actually. Well, I got injured till like January time, and I was very upset about it. So I started posting a ton. Was still posting my videos back then, my shorts and everything, and it was very lonely. And the reason why I was so lonely was because, of course, I had no one texting me, calling me. I still haven't had anyone text me or anything like that, but during that time period, I was posting. Like I would post my full day and everything, me talking, laughing throughout the videos and stuff like that, and it would get like no views. It would get like 200 views. Like that's the minimum views that they allow on IG. On YouTube Shorts, it would get 0 views, and on TikTok, it was very hit or miss. Some days, they would do well, but other days, they wouldn't do as well. And maybe I'm just gonna move up a bit. Maybe that'll help out. I also started noticing that maybe all of you probably can't hear my voice fully. Maybe I'll get a microphone or something soon like that. I'm gonna try to get something like that, because I was listening to one of my videos on the TV, and my audio sounded pretty bad. But on the phone, when you're listening to your headphones, I sound pretty good. But I was like listening to that the other day, but I started noticing as well. Where was I going with the whole thing? Was that where was I going? I was talking about the content. So it was very lonely. I was posting my full day, showing my emotions and everything, and nobody was commenting, no likes. I had no returning viewers. I had nobody that was. I used to post stories that would get 0 views. Nowadays my stories get like, we have returning viewers. There's people that like all my stuff now, which is amazing. I'm now in a good point. But back then, I had 200 views. No one was watching the videos. They would get like 2 second average watch time. I'm lying. They would get like 5 or 6 seconds average watch time out of like 55 seconds. So that's awful. That's awful. The video. Like if your video does that bad, there's clearly an issue with the video. So my views and everything was so low, and I was just like, I was grinding every single day on my. I used to have 4 other coaching accounts as well, and I used to be so stressed out. Like I would post 3 times a day on those, on each one of them, and on my main account, I post as well, just my journey and maybe a couple other reels. I was posting a crazy amount, and I was stuck in this 200 views, and I was just really down on myself, and it was so lonely. I was so obsessed over the stats, and I was just like, it was such a lonely time period for me, and I felt like it was one of my lowest points. Not like mentally, but like in terms of like my circumstance, like my outer, like the position I was in. I wasn't wrestling. I was injured, which is the first time I've ever been injured for going into the start of the season. I've never been injured ever. I'm always the guy who's always practicing as much as possible. I practice on Halloween when no one's there. I always outwork everybody. So it was very, lonely. And it was constantly, my knee was hurting all the time back then. So I would just walk to class, be completely alone. It would be cold outside and everything. And I would talk to nobody in my first semester there. And it was the whole thing. Like, I felt like an outcast to everyone on campus. I felt so alone because I wasn't getting any views of my posts and everything. I was putting it so hard. And then I decided to not wrestle. I decided to save the year of eligibility and everything like that. And then, I was still so obsessed with the views and everything. And then, life started hitting harder and harder. There's some stuff that I'm not going to post here right now. I don't really want to share that information, but it's a lot of personal stuff that happened. And, afterwards I was like, all right, I don't even care anymore about the views, about anything. I really don't care about the stats anymore. I don't care about how much followers all of a sudden or anything like that. All of a sudden I'm like, nothing matters anymore. I don't even care stressing about, making it or whatever. I just started posting videos, that weren't high effort, just post them. And now, like, I gained more followers in maybe the last 2 weeks than I had in the past, maybe ever in I've never gained that much followers from my content, ever. I gained more followers in the past 2 weeks than I did. I've been posting, I think, for maybe a year now. So I've gained more followers in that 2 weeks than in the past year when I was obsessing over the videos. And I don't even care anymore about seeing the following growth. My views now are high. Like, my videos, at least one video a day is averaging like 15K views. I had a couple outliers. A video got over it's about to get 1 million views, and another one got like 220,000 views. Another one, I think, got like 160,000. I'm not too sure. And then there's a couple others recently, 20K, stuff like that. And I don't really analyze them, view all the likes for all the people anymore, because I really don't care as much. And I feel like, like I said in the beginning, everything just starts coming to me now. And I feel like, my strength is back. I'm able to wrestle again. I just literally yesterday did Zerka squats 365 for 5 reps, which is my highest I've ever done. I haven't ever got past like 355. So doing 365 for 5 reps, and this was like clean and everything. A slight pause at the bottom. I didn't do 2-second pauses. I only did slight pause. It felt very good. And my outside image, which I don't really care about how people view me, that's higher than ever now. People are being like, oh yeah, he's this guy again. Which before, people are laughing at me, be like, this stupid kid's posting journey videos that are getting 200 views and he looks so stupid. And as well with the beard and everything, I feel like as well that's when I started losing a lot of, like when I shaved the beard, I started getting treated a lot better, but I started noticing the people that were supporting me when I had it, all of a sudden stopped supporting me. Like a couple of people that I knew. So maybe something was up with that, But, all of a sudden I started getting a ton of people liking me again as soon as I shaved the beard. So maybe there's something up with this. Maybe I should never do that again. Because I had like my full beard and everything. And maybe, I don't know. But anyways, the point is, where was I going with that? I started getting everything again. Like, my outside image is higher than ever, which I don't care, but I do not care, As long as you have inner confidence, that's all that matters, If you have hundreds of people clapping for you and that's where you get your confidence, that's not real confidence, and you're going to lose it and it's going to feel awful. So build inner confidence, build inner, self-belief. Don't listen to other people believing in you or other people doubting you. How much people doubted me. How much people are still doubting me. Be like, oh yeah, you're not going to make it. You're just getting a lucky patch. I had a couple teammates. I had a teammate reach out to me. And he sent a message to try to get in my head. Old teammate of mine. And, of course, I'm going to eventually, when my account gets bigger and bigger, I'm going to get a ton of these messages from old people trying to get in my head. Luckily for me, I blocked a lot of them already. So I won't even get messages. I didn't block them on Instagram, my content account. I don't really care about them too. There's way too much. And a lot of people have alt accounts, stuff like that. That's why I didn't block anyone when I started my content account. Because there's tons of alt accounts, things like that. But yeah, the point is maybe just don't be attached to everything. There's this law of attachment thing that you hear about, where as soon as you stop being attached to it, you get everything you want. I feel like it's sort of getting real. You know, I don't even care about the views. I don't even care about the following count anymore. I don't really care. You know, but everything is going my way now, and hopefully I can just continue this thing. Hopefully I don't fall off. I don't really see a way where I can. You know, but yeah, you know, every single day really just find one way to improve yourself. That's all that really matters. You don't need to improve yourself privately. Don't publicly, you know, post like pictures and stuff like that about what you did. You know, that's what I talked about before I deactivated my Instagram account. You don't need any extra validation. You know, build yourself up and, you know, keep doing the right things every single day.